Hey everyone, welcome back to the Power Sports channel. My name is Richard. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about the Phoenix Suns. We are 16 games into the season. I do want to make it very clear right off the bat. I'm not going to be covering every single game because it is 82 games, but I am going to be covering it basically every so often. Like, for instance, another 16 games might go by and I'm more than likely going to do another video, but I wanted to make that very clear right off the bat. 10-6 overall. I can live with that record. Currently we are second in the Western Conference. There is a part of me that wishes that we could have gotten a few more wins. Like, I do believe that the game against the Utah Jazz was definitely a game that we could have won. There were quite a few games that I do feel that we should have won them, but I'm not gonna start nitpicking the team to death over this and that. But like I've said in other videos, you know, it's not really even about how many games we're actually able to win in the regular season, as long as you're actually able to get into the playoffs ultimately. So I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna start off here. So right now the record is 10-6. We are second in the league. I do feel that overall the team is playing. They're playing pretty good. To start the season off, Devin Booker had like a string of like 30-point games, and I was just hoping that he would be able to keep that going. Especially now that Chris Paul is injured. It just kind of seems like there's always some type of malady now. I get that he's older, but at the same time, this team does really need him, even though there are other players that are stepping up. Overall, I want to say Devin Booker's playing very well. Cam Johnson was, in my opinion, was playing pretty well up until his injury. DeAndre Ayton, I think he's playing okay. I would love to be able to see, once again, more power, more dominance, more force in his game, but I'm not here to try to make it seem like I'm a detractor, that I'm being rude or mean towards DeAndre Ayton. But at the same time, for that max money, I would definitely love to be able to see more of just more stats, more rebounds, more points. Because the craziest part about it is the stat line that he's given us currently. I could possibly give a guy maybe 13, 14 million dollars, and I could possibly get that same production. And the problem is, it doesn't help when you look around the league. And I know that this isn't fair, and I've said this in previous videos before. It doesn't help that when they say, oh, DeAndre Ayton's like a top 5 center, but you look at players like Bam Adebayo and Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, and these guys are capable of taking games over completely. I'm not really going to say Bam Adebayo is that type of guy, but he does have his moments where he can literally take over games. And I will say that. We've even already played the 76ers, and Joel Embiid literally gave DeAndre Ayton the business that night. Seriously, just, hey young man, you want to play this center position? Well, this is what the top of the center position looks like. You want to be better than me? Score more points? Be more aggressive? I don't know what to tell you. I really don't even know what to say. But overall, I do believe that he is helping the team. I do wish that there was just a little bit more going on there to help Devin Booker out. um, with the scoring because currently Cam Johnson and Chris Paul are currently out. So that's basically where we are at right now. And then I want to talk about Mikal Bridges. I'm sorry. He's playing very well in my opinion. He's had some really good games where it's just he's doing exactly what he needs to do. Now let's talk about the bench. Um, the bench, in my opinion, has been playing very well. Cam Payne is playing exceptionally well, especially due to the fact that Chris Paul is missing time. He's injured right now, and we really need that help. There have been at least, I want to say, 2 to 3 games where Cam Payne has scored 20 plus points as the starting point guard. Now, the question is he able to keep the same effort up once Chris Paul is back and he's now back to being the secondary point guard? Because the craziest part about this, just a year ago, we were talking about, hey, we might need to actually find a replacement for Cam Payne. Now we're saying, is there a possibility that Cam Payne might have found his stride again? And I'm hopeful that he has. That game against the Utah, so there was a game where I definitely feel like the Suns definitely have room for improvement, and it really showed itself in this game. Against the Utah Jazz. And this game happened roughly a week ago, I want to say, against Lauri Markkanen and the Utah Jazz. Lauri Markkanen's playing outside of his mind. Guys, I don't mean to jump around, but once again, I do kind of do these videos off the cuff. I am working on that. I truly am. Not to jump around in the video. But I definitely do believe that the team is doing its best, but we do need consistent effort from other players on the team to help Devin Booker score points. Because it can't just be Devin Booker every night scoring 26, 30 points and everybody else scores like 15, 12. That's good when you have everybody healthy, because you probably still win like that. It's just amazing. But you actually need people to step up going forward. While Chris Paul is injured, while Cameron Johnson is injured, it's a lot going into that. I definitely have seen some wins that I am very excited about. Once again, I have not been able to make it to any of these games. My work schedule is just so crazy. And it doesn't even look like in 3 months from now when we do the next shift bid, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to, it doesn't look like it's going to get much better even then. And basically, even in 3 months from now or 2 months from now, the season's basically over. So it is what it is. But I just work a lot. I do my 16-hour days. I do what I have to do. Another thing is this. Once again, they just have quite a bit of things that they need to work on, because that game against the Utah Jazz, that is the embodiment of playoff basketball. It's not the playoffs yet. I want to be very clear. We're not even close to the playoffs. But that game against the Utah Jazz is about as close as we are going to get to a playoff environment so far into the season. And we lost that game because we were not able to make timely buckets. We weren't able to get back defensively the way we needed to possibly try to get a hand in the face of some of these players knocking down these clutch shots. I don't mind, the fact that your opponent, they're trying to win the game. I don't mind that. I don't. But the thing is this, when you miss a shot and then you get the rebound and you miss another shot right behind that, you get the rebound again and then you miss another shot. I understand that these things happen, but somebody's got to figure out a way to be able to get the ball in the bucket. In that game against the Utah Jazz, Lauri Markkanen played out of his mind in that game. Right now, he's looking like an all-NBA player as of right now. And there are people saying, oh, he'll eventually come back down to earth. And maybe he does. But right now, they're playing very well. And the craziest part about it is they were hoping that this team would tank so that they could get the number 1 overall pick, hopefully. Victor Wembanyama, I do believe that's his name. Next, they're considering him like the next generational talent. So that's kind of interesting in and of itself. And if they win too many games, you might be out of that running very quickly for the Utah Jazz. But that game against the Utah Jazz was definitely one that could have been winnable. Once again, I'm not very big into, regular season wins, especially since we've seen a ton of regular season wins. We've had over 100 regular season wins over the last 2 years. So now it's about that regular season success turning into postseason success that leads to championships. Right now, I'm just going to say that the team is in a very good spot. There's nothing wrong with being in second, but we could easily be first in the conference. It's just that I'm seeing little things here and there that are making me say, these are kind of like bad habits that the team actually has at times. So there's that. Now, I'm going to wrap up this video in a second, but I definitely do believe that not only is the team, they're playing good enough right now for this part of the season. Let's just say that. Let's move over to the Kevin Durant thing. Of course, that Kevin Durant trade didn't happen. The Nets aren't looking so great. You have Kyrie Irving and all that stuff going on. I'm not going to go into that. I really want to stay off of that. Of course, I do not endorse any type of, hate speech or anything like that. Okay. It's just that, once again, it's just that situation, it just lets me know that there's power in the things that you say. I'm just going to leave it at that. Kevin Durant, the whole Kevin Durant trade, it's very interesting because, like I said in the previous video, I sure hope that the Kevin Durant trade did not come down to us giving up Cam Johnson. I know that we did not get him, but the rumor mills are firing back up. And now there's even rumor mills popping up that LeBron James could possibly be traded by the Lakers to immediately kickstart a rebuild. So please be mindful of this. LeBron James would not be eligible to be traded to anybody, let alone the Phoenix Suns, for quite a while. And the thing is this, I don't even know what it would even take to get LeBron James on this team, but believe me, I would find a way to be at those games if my favorite player in the entire NBA wound up on the Phoenix Suns. Um, but it just looks like Kevin Durant's not going to be traded at this time, and that's perfectly understandable. The Nets were well within their rights not to do that. And speaking of trades, this is going to be the last thing that I actually bring up in this video. And once again, guys, thank you for watching. Jay Crowder, the night that the Suns were playing against the Golden State Warriors, there was a report that came out that there was a 3-team deal that was close to being finalized. The Milwaukee Bucks would have gotten Jay Crowder, Houston would have gotten Grayson Allen, and we would have gotten Eric Gordon. From what I'm actually hearing and reading, that was actually not real. That was a fake story. So I don't blame the Suns for not just simply trading him just to get him out the building. I am very grateful for the fact that they are trying to hold on to him to see what is actually out there. What I think that they could get for Jay Crowder, I don't really know. That's the thing. I'm not saying that Jay Crowder doesn't have any value. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't know how these teams really value Jay Crowder. And that's just me being honest. I am always going to tell you the truth. I don't know how they value him. And the craziest part about it is the Suns have been trying to get Eric Gordon for a while. Even all the way back a couple of years ago when we signed him to an offer sheet, and then ultimately that offer sheet was matched, and then he got injured, so we wound up kind of like dodging a bullet there, I guess. I'm not saying that if he would have came over to the Suns that he still suffers the same injury, but it is kind of weird. Yeah. So right now we are 10-6. It's all good. We're second in the Western Conference. Once again, just like with any team, we're doing some things well. We're not doing other things as well as we could be doing. Once again, it does come down to being able to have that grit to do what you need to do to get the ball in the basket. I need to see that fight because the Suns are definitely getting that fight. DeAndre Ayton has already played against very well-established centers already this year. Bam Adebayo, Joel Embiid, both of them dropped 30 points in those games. It's interesting in and of itself. So in roughly another 15 games or so, I am going to do another report on the state of the team. Guys, thank you for watching the Power Sports channel. I do hope you have a great day. Thank you.